Welcome students, welcome to MJC Learning, where learning is fun. For Standard 12th, our favorite subject economics, and we are on to our part 3 of the chapter Forms of Market. So far, we have understood about the meaning of market and various types, and we have so far done in our second part that was regarding the features of perfect competition and how the price is determined under perfect competition. In today's video, we are going to understand about the imperfect competition. Now, we all can say that imperfect competition is a type of a market which shows very few but not all the features of a competitive market. The examples or the forms of imperfect competitive market are monopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic. Today, we are in particular going to deal with the monopoly competition, or you can say a particular form of market called as monopoly market. The term monopoly can be said to be derived as from the Greek word mono, which means single, and poly means seller. So when you combine the term single seller, you indirectly talk about monopoly. So we can say that it is a market in which there is only one seller. There are no other sellers in this form of market, and that is the reason why this single seller controls the entire market's supply for whatever product he is producing. And since there are no other producers or sellers, the product which he is producing has no close substitute as well. So, this was just a brief meaning of monopoly market. That means a single seller who has a complete control of the market supply for his product, and since he is a single seller, the product has no close substitute. So, let us see what Chamberlain has to say when it comes to monopoly. A monopoly refers to a single firm which has control over the supply of a product and which has no close substitute. So that is why, just as we have understood here, again Chamberlain is emphasizing that here there is a single firm, the single producer, and he being single in the entire market, he has the control over the supply of his product, and just because there are no other producer, there are no close substitute for what he is producing. And that is what makes him a price maker and not a price taker. He is the one who can make the price, the profit as much as he wants. So, I hope you all are clear with the concept of monopoly market. Now let us go through the features of monopoly. As we have learned in our definition as well, the very first point says that he is a single seller. In a monopoly market, there is a single seller, or you can say a producer, and that is why he has no rivals and no competition is being faced by the monopoly. Again, as we have understood in our definition also, the second main feature is that of no close substitute. So, since there are no close substitute for the product of the monopolist, therefore the buyer has no choice. The buyer or the consumer has only one supplier or the producer who can fulfill his need, and that is why the price whatever he is charging, he has to take that, because the buyer has no choice. They have either to buy the product or they can go without it, right? Since there is no close substitute. Then The third important feature is barriers to entry. Since the monopoly firm wants to establish or maintain his own monopoly in the market, what he does is he creates an obstacle or barrier to another firm for the entry in terms of the market. So, entry of the rivals is restricted due to legal, natural, technological barrier which does not allow the competitor to enter the market. Of course, if the monopoly allows other firms to enter the market, there will be close substitute available for his product and he will lose his importance. That is why what he does is he creates barriers for other firms to enter the market. The barrier can be in the form of a legal barrier, it can be natural barrier, technological barrier, and others as well. The fourth point is price maker. The firm under monopoly is a price maker and not a price taker. We have understood that under our feature of perfect competition, because of large number of sellers, the firm was a price taker. But here, on the other hand, since the only source of person who can supply the product is a sole seller, that is why the monopoly firm becomes a price maker and not a price taker. So it is in his hand that he can charge any price for the commodity because he has all the control over the supply of the product that he is producing. So this makes him the price maker and not a price taker. As much as he wants to charge, he will have the consumer who is willing to pay or else go without the product, right? So that is why he becomes the price maker. Now, the fifth point talks about no distinction between the firm and industry. Of course, when he is the sole producer and there is no other producer of the same product in the market, he becomes the firm as well, and he can say he becomes an industry also. So, there is only one seller. So, whomsoever is producing on a smaller scale or larger scale, there is no difference between the firm or the industry. Coming back to the sixth point, control over the market supply. We all have repeated this various times, but again, this makes you all to understand the points and you can well connect with it. So, since he is a single seller, he has the hold over the complete market, and that is why he has the supplies control also. He also creates the entries barrier so that others, or you can say other producer, do not enter the market. Since he is the only person and he is a price maker, this brings us to our point number 7, that is of earning supernormal profit. He can decide, being a sole producer, he has all the power to decide as to how much price and output should be given out to the consumer, right? How much should be produced, at what price it should be sold. All these things are under the control of our producer under monopoly, and that is why he aims to earn super normal profit. Okay? Then, price discrimination is the eighth point wherein we are going to understand that it is a monopoly firm who can charge different prices for the same product to his different buyers or consumers. If he sees somebody of a well-to-do family or has a good source to be paid, then he'll charge them definitely high. On the other hand, if he finds that somebody can really not pay well, he can charge them low as well. Since he is the only person who takes the decision, it is on him, the monopoly firm, to charge the price as and when he finds it to be suitable And because of this price discrimination, he intends or he always wishes to increase his profit level. So the features we have done. Now let us look at the types of monopoly. The very first monopolies type is of a natural monopoly. The term itself, you all will be aware, natural. That means it is in terms of the natural resources, it is dependent on our mother nature. So, a particular type of natural resource is available. For example, the apple of Kashmir, the oranges of Nagpur, the tea from Assam. So it depends. Not you cannot find the apples production of apple in Mumbai because the temperature is not favorable. Correct. So it gives the place Kashmir having a good quality apple and they can charge the higher price. Similarly, tea from Assam is being famous for because Assam is a place which has a abundant resource, natural resource, wherein the tea's productivity, or you can say the product is available in ample. The nature supports the produce of tea, and that is what creates the natural monopoly. Then, moving on to the second type, public monopoly. Now, public monopoly, we all understand the meaning called public by the term government, right? So, when the ownership of the supply of goods and services are owned by the government or indirectly by the public, such monopoly function is said to be of a public monopoly. Now, here the basic motive is not at all to earn profit. The example given here is of Indian Railways. The Indian Railway is functioning for the better transportation of the local public, and it is being maintained by our government, right? So they don't have any motive to earn profit, but it aims at providing the welfare to the public, to the society, and that is why it is said to be as public monopoly. The third the third Murphy type is of a private monopoly. Now, private monopoly refers to the ownership of supply of goods and services by the private firm. And here, of course, when a private entity owns a firm or a product, the basic aim is to earn profit. Profit maximization is what is their sole purpose. So that is why we can say that when a private firm or an individual they supply certain goods and services, it is said to be as private monopoly. Example here given is of Tata Group, Reliance Group. We all are aware of it. The fourth monopoly is of legal monopoly. So the when monopoly is being created by the law, certain amendments are taking place, it is known as legal monopoly. Now, legal monopoly includes certain aspects like copyrights, patents, trademark. We all can see the symbol over here, Parle G. So, if XYZ person wants to provide or produce biscuits, he cannot make use of this, you can say the trademark of this, right? Because this is the logo of Parle-G company and they have the copyright, they have the patent, and nobody else can make use of it. Legally, they have claimed this to be as a logo for Parle company and nobody else can use this. We can find other also, that is Volkswagen, Mahindra, Ford, Nissan, Toyota, Suzuki, Honda, etc. So these are the legal provision done by the companies so that nobody else can take their name, use it and make the profit in the market. Okay, so this is what is legal monopoly. The next is simple monopoly, and it is that monopoly in which the firm charges simple uniform price. We are supposed to understand it is not just simple, but the monopoly is charging the uniform price for all the consumer, and there is no discrimination among the consumer. That means it is simple in nature. Whatever product they want to supply, irrespective of whoever is the consumer, they are not going to discriminate, and they are still going to be a monopoly firm. Now the opposite to simple monopoly is discriminating monopoly. Discriminating matlab bhed karna. Find out the difference. Then when different prices are charged to different customers for the same product, it is being called as price discrimination. A lawyer, he can charge, he's Jeth Malani, he's a famous advocate. So he charges depending upon the kind of a client that he has. Even the doctor, for a surgery, he can charge even 1000 rupees if he is working for a charity, and he can also charge 1 lakh rupees for the same operation if he belongs to a very higher class patient's surgeon, right? If he comes to become a higher class surgeon, then he is going to definitely charge different price for doing the same kind of surgery, right? So this was the basic example made so that you all are able to get through the idea of discriminating monopoly. Simple monopoly, uniform price and no discrimination. On the other hand, discriminating monopoly, different customers, same product, but different customers are being charged with different price. Then voluntary monopoly. When a number of big business companies they acquire monopoly through trusts, or you can say cartels, when they come together, and it is possible also even with the help of mergers and amalgamations, when the two companies come together and work in agreement, it is said to be as voluntary monopoly. Opaque, that is the countries which are the producers of oil as well as the export, of course. So these countries come together voluntarily, they have certain agreements, certain policies to be followed, and the whole world are a part of it, and they are exporting the oil, even like they are producing the oil as well as the exporting to the other countries of the world. So this was with respect to our session 2. Based on what we have learned, let us have a quick recap. We have been through the meaning of monopoly. Single seller, he has a control over the entire market and there are no close substitute. Then based on the meaning, we came through the following features. First, single seller, no close substitute. Then we have also been through barriers to entry. Then the monopolist is a price maker and not a price taker. We have also understood that there is no distinction between firm and an industry when it comes to monopoly. He has a control over the market supply. Then he earns a supernormal profit and he does price discrimination as well. Then we have been to types of monopoly. Then it is dependent on the natural monopoly. That means the very first type, which is dependent on nature, is said to be as natural monopoly. Second, public monopoly. Third, private monopoly. Fourth, legal monopoly. Fifth, simple monopoly. Sixth, discriminating monopoly. And the seventh one was voluntary monopoly. So I hope this session was very useful to you and you have got through the concept easily. And make sure that you go through the sessions once again for your better understanding. Until then, be safe, keep learning, and enjoy. Take care.